With it being a cold day, we thought a nice hot, something hot like a hot pot or something like that would be nice. So we've got a couple of varieties in case somebody didn't like anything.
It's like having a meal in one, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And making sure that you had a bit of veg but with meat and it looked pleasing and nice.
One
Yeah.
pot in it.
And it much easier.
Mixed veg as well, so it doesn't take any putting together. Because they take 45 minutes, Rachel.
1. So what do we know about the food that we've bought? We've seen the nice pictures on the box, but what do we actually know about what's inside those boxes?
Modified maize, starch and preservatives. And the crumble is just the flour, sugar, margarine and emery. Doesn't see anything at all, as far as I can see, about where it come from, except that it is produced and packed in the UK for Iceland Foods.
So this is the cottage pie. And
Looks lovely.
it does look lovely, I think, yeah, and having the mixture of the meat and the potato. And it says that as 50% is the mince filling and 50% is the potato topping. But it says it's produced and packed in Ireland, but we've got no idea where else the food comes from. So it could come from anywhere, I suppose. Go to Ireland and then come back here.
Says tender pieces of chicken breast and carrots in a rich gravy topped with sliced potato. And the ingredients are hot pot sauce is 52%, sliced potatoes is 30%, cooked chicken is 10%.
That's quite small.
That's quite mean. And carrot to 8%. So a lot of sauce. A lot of sauce and not so much chicken. And the sauce contains lots of things. Yeah.
But
I don't know
water
whether
is the main ingredient.
water is the main ingredient.
Nice bit of cologne on the top.
But the question is one pot, there are different views about whether fire...
Thank you.
I mean, there isn't that much difference between the cottage pie and the picture, is there?
Yes, I think that would be.
But
yes.
look at the consistency of the
glue.
gravy compared to the
Gravy.
picture.
Right.
You get prize.
It's like a sixpence in a Christmas pudding.
Will you bring your plate?
Tastes as though there's quite a bit of beef in the mince, doesn't there? It isn't just
Yes.
gravy.
The chicken,
Chicken's
I can't.
nice.
I can't taste chicken. Can you taste chicken?
This is chicken, no?
Lovely lump of chicken.
No, perhaps that's
Oh, well, I
chicken.
must have
Yes,
said
that was a lump of chicken, but I'm not sure the dish.
Frozen, so you couldn't do anything more in terms of...
Certainly, you know, if you are feeding the family for the sample enough for, you know, for 4 people, isn't it? In each tray.
Already said that this takes an hour in the oven to cook, so it isn't quick in that sense.
It would
And
probably take me about an hour to make the same thing from scratch, the cottage pie from scratch.
So you're not.
I'll do it. But margarine could have some more.
Oh, yeah. I gave, that was my New Year's resolution, I did that much.
The overriding taste is sweetness.
Yeah.
It was absolutely beautiful. It wasn't too sweet. There was plenty of it. There was had a crust on it. I wouldn't complain anything about the rhubarb crumble. In fact, I will go and buy rhubarb crumble like that.
I mean, we've come together and have chosen some food quite quickly. It was a very whistle-stop tour around Iceland, and we didn't spend a lot of time thinking what we would get. And it was a quick, hot food is a good idea. It's easy to put just a few things together. and it was amazingly cheap. And what we got was a good chance to discuss what was in the food, but we didn't have any effort in terms of the cooking because it did just go in the oven and we waited for it to cook, really.
Were our expectations, I don't think, were fulfilled from the advertisement on the box. I think it looks nicer on the box than what it actually was. But then, like I say, everything always does. Of the two, the cottage pie was probably the nicer of the two. The chicken hot pot was eatable, but that's probably because we don't like to waste anything. Then we did eat it. Mm-hmm. It wasn't uneatable. But of the two, I think you're probably getting more value for money with the cottage pie than the chicken hot pot. About the nutrition values and the portion values and what you're actually getting, because looking at the chicken hot pot, really, basically what we got was potato and like a cloop sauce, really, wasn't it? That was all we got.
I think, like, price-wise, mostly is what gets me is the price and value for money, and I think we got a good value for money of what we've had today, and I think as long as everybody enjoyed it and it was a reasonable price, I think we've had a good day. I think the idea of today was to getting people together, from my point of view, and having a good meal and discussing what the meal was all about and what was in it and like the prices of it. And if it was anything different, I don't know anything different because that's what I've done and that's what I enjoyed.
You don't, at the home, perhaps you don't discuss this food in such a concentrated way. At home, you might every now and then look at the back of a packet and say, oh, that's got a lot of whatever it is, or you might say at the end of a meal, well, that was pricey, right, and I'm not going to get that again.
Well, we've dissected it, basically, from back to front. And that's not something you would normally do at home. Yes, as Howard said, you maybe would look at the back of, the odd whatever it is, what's in this and what's in that, or somebody says, oh, that was very nice, what was in it. But certainly not in as concentrated a form as we have done today. And it has been very nice, and it was surprising because I expected to make little salmon pinwheels and sausages on sticks when it said party food. So it was a surprise, a very nice surprise. And so we've had a nice meal, a nice 2-course meal that basically most people could afford for their family. And a convenience meal as well, was not a lot of effort put into it. Mm.